For the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Wow, what a crowd. Woo. Welcome. Dave Ditzler can't be with us today. He will be back for next week's meeting, so I have to announce that. So you've got me and Carol and the two ladies up here today.
How lucky could you be?
Absolutely. Okay, this is our 16th meeting of the year. It is Thursday, April 18th at 10:06 a.m. in the morning. And we will begin with public comments. You will have your name and address for the record. And I see Mr. Taylor beat me to the punch. Good morning. You'll be the first one.
Good morning, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Taylor, Vice President of the Western Reserve Building Trades, located at 8065 Market Street, Boardman, Ohio, 44512, Mahoning County. Western Reserve Building Trade represents 9,500 tax-paying construction workers in the Valley and various construction trade crafts. I first want to say that organized labor supports the use of PLAs in Mahoning County and all labor benefits from PLAs. Over several years, I've had to deal with a lot of public issues in cities, counties, and townships. In my experience, I found it best to reach out and see if an issue can be resolved amicably before publicly attacking a community leader. I also find having all the facts of what you're going to speak about is very helpful in resolving many problems and issues. Today, I have the facts. I'd like to give some timelines to explain. Even though PLAs were used in Mahoning County previous to 2019, on December 30th of 2019, Mahoning County Commissioners unanimously approved the resolution for adoption of the PLA language for Mahoning County construction projects. Since 2019 PLA adoption, this agreement has only been used on 4 projects. After the very first project utilizing the Mahoning County 2019 PLA, and just like ODOT would have annual changes to better their standards in the industry, Labor proposed a modification to the PLA to make a more harmonious work environment for all construction workers and contractors unbiased of union or non-union. That would be beneficial for Mahoning County and the taxpaying constituents. One of the modifications was Article 13, Section 5, which states nothing in this agreement requires employees to join a union or pay dues or fees to a union as a condition of working on a covered project. In the best interests of all workers on Mahoning County PLA projects, the Mahoning County Commissioners unanimously agreed to these language changes. And on the next 2 construction projects, utilized this language in addendums. Shortly after, on September 4th, 2020, Labor presented a new PLA draft with all the previous modifications, which was sent to the Commissioners for approval. On September 9th, 2020, less than 1 year after the original 2019 PLA language was implemented by resolution, the revised and current PLA language was unanimously implemented by the Mahoning County Commissioners. Over the last couple of weeks, I've heard remarks from a couple of non-union companies and their issues with the Mahoning County PLA, saying it mandated companies having to be signatory, employees having to become union members, and dues and fringes being assessed as tariffs. So after hearing these remarks and being in total disbelief of the misinformation that was being said, another union business representative and myself decided to look at these allegations and stopped by the Mahoning County Purchasing Department on April 12, 2024, spoke to Jim Fortunato, and did a FOIA request for the bid documents on the 5th project that is currently under the PLA. The implemented PLA was consistent with the revised, Commissioners, can I?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
The implemented PLA in this was consistent with the revised language of 2020. On Tuesday, April 16th, 2024, a couple of union business representatives and myself stopped by the Sanitary Engineers Department and requested 2 bid docs. This is one of them. This is that will utilize PLAs, and that a couple of non-union companies had issues with. The Lake Milton water line replacement and the Poland Township Interceptor project. Both of these projects are the first projects, to my knowledge, to utilize the Mahoning County PLA in the Sanitary Engineers Department. After the labor union representatives carefully reviewed and compared the Sanitary Engineers Department PLAs and the Mahoning County 2020 revised PLA, it was discovered that the Sanitary Department implemented the old 2019 PLA version and not the 2020 revised PLA versions. I believe this is how two different groups could have two completely different opinions on PLAs. Just to reiterate, 2020 revised PLA states nothing in this agreement requires employees to join a union or pay dues or fees to a union as a condition of working on the covered project. I'm not here to lay blame of why the correct documents were not implemented into the two projects in question, but here to give facts and offer a solution. I feel proud that the organized labor was able to find this error. It would be my suggestion in the light of the current information, the commissioners ask the Sanitary Engineers Department to remove the old 2019 PLA version and replace it with the current 2020 revised PLA version addendum to be sent out immediately to all plan holders of the two current sanitary projects which utilize the PLA. Labor and I would like to thank the commissioners for supporting all construction workers by implementing and continuing to utilize the current 2020 revised PLA. Thank you. I appreciate the extra time.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Thank you for your research. Next. Right.
Well, good morning, Mahoning
Morning,
County
Brian.
Commissioners and guests. My name is Brian Collier. I'm a Mahoning County resident, so I'll give my residence 15460 Ellsworth Road. I live in Milton Township, but it's a Berlin Center address. So to start, I represent the Bricklayers and Tile Setters Union in Mahoning County. I worked as a bricklayer in the field for 26 years, and I've represented the union for about the last 10 years. I've heard a few talking points recently about the Mahoning County project labor agreement with the Western Reserve Building Trades Council via media and other entities, and I would like to make a few comments. Just for the record, I was working in the field as a bricklayer in 1994, 30 years ago, on the Mahoning County Jail, which to my recollection was the very first Mahoning County job that the commissioners chose to implement a project labor agreement. I was also the job steward, which is the on-the-site representative for the Bricklayers Union, and I dealt with the effects of the PLA firsthand. I'd like to say that also speaking as a Mahoning County resident, construction of our 130-foot tall jail went very smoothly. I worked there for 13 months. One of the conditions that was implemented by the language was that the trade workers could not limit use of any speed-saving devices, which directly affected my craft. And just to reiterate a little bit, bricklayers, when we build a wall, traditionally we built the corners first, we run a line, we build the wall in between. Why this is relevant? We were against using what they call speed poles. You set up a pole vertically, you pull a line on it, but we conceded to help the county, to help the taxpayers, and to this day, we don't even use those anymore in the rest of the field. But nonetheless, that was a concession that the unions made in order to work with the county. Another was no organized coffee breaks that was in the PLA. And when I first heard this, I thought, oh my, they're not going to let us have a break. That wasn't it. What the county didn't want, they didn't want 400 construction workers going to a food truck and taking 20, 25 minutes for a break. So we conceded. We took our breaks at our workstation, took a 10-minute break. We found that to be fair. That was decent. We're producing. So the PLA, once again, it usurped something that we did traditionally, maybe a little differently, but it helped everybody in the long run, productive for the county. So, and then, of course, finally, the county was protected. If any of the trades, let's say their contract expired right in the middle, our contracts are all different. Let's say that there was a potential strike. We couldn't strike on that job, which meant that never stopped production on that job. Even if we were striking everywhere else, there was no strikes. Unions get demonized for these things. Nonetheless, the job would have gone on. And I don't recall if there were any strikes or not, but regardless, we didn't strike on that job. So no work stop. And I'm almost finished if you don't mind. So at that time, these ideas were foreign to many of us, including myself. Nonetheless, we agreed, we moved forward, productively built a piece of infrastructure for the county that has stood to this day for the greater good, 30 years. So in the end, labor and management worked with the county to achieve a common goal, which still works today. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Next.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Tressa, Rudzik Excavating. On Tuesday, I attended the pre-bid meeting for the Lake Milton Waterline Replacement Project that bids next Wednesday, April 24th. There were 4 contractors in person, 2 on the phone, total of 6 contractors, 3 union, 3 non-union. By enforcing this PLA, you are eliminating 50% of the contractors. Is that in the taxpayer's best interest? You say you work for everybody. You say you don't make political judgments. Well, what in the world kind of judgment is this when you eliminate 50% of the qualified bidders on a public contract? As a reminder, you have until Monday to truly work for everyone and issue the addendum removing this discriminatory mandate. While I was at the pre-bid meeting, I asked a few questions. I asked the design engineer what aspects of this project necessitated the use of a PLA. He couldn't answer that question. I asked him what were the most challenging and complicated aspects of this project. He paused and said, "This is a simple waterline project. Toughest part is a waterline tap, and if you can't do that, you shouldn't be sitting at this table." This morning, I submitted questions in writing requesting information specifically when this PLA was voted on by the commissioners and what necessitated the use of the PLA. Because remember, the resolution reads, I quote, "This Board of County Commissioners desires to utilize a project labor agreement for certain county projects when the board determines that the use of a PLA is necessitated by the project and is in the best interest of the Mahoning County taxpayer." End quote. No one I talked to can explain what on this project necessitates a PLA. Commissioner Rigetti, you're a strong proponent of the PLAs.
I am.
We've talked about this for a couple weeks now. If anyone can articulate an argument in favor of the PLA, it'd be you.
Exactly.
So I'd like to personally invite you on the Ron Verb Show, AM radio, so that people can hear why this is in the best interest of the Mahoning County taxpayer. We know this forum is not a back and forth. The emails certainly don't get responded to, so I'm going back on with Ron, and I think it's only fair the public hears the opposing side to my argument. In fact, I welcome all commissioners to join me. If this is so good for the county, this is a great opportunity to remind them how hard you're working for them. Currently, I have a few public record requests submitted that the prosecutor's office denied, saying they are ambiguous and/or overly broad. All I'm asking are for the bid results for the last 25 improvement projects between the sanitary and the road departments. I'll work with the prosecutors to obtain this information, but I already know what the information will tell me. It will show that the significant majority of projects are awarded to union companies, yet you desire to direct more work their way. I thought we were making it fair for everybody. And listen, I don't blame the trades for this. They're doing a much better job of selling their product. I'm getting to know their leadership, Jim Taylor. I have respect for all of them. They're a good bunch of guys. My crews can go sign up whenever they like. But it will be their choice, not a mandate by 3 commissioners that gets them in the hall. And you know, I could go on for hours about this because I'm right.
Not exactly.
It's not like we have the time to come down here every Thursday. We're managing 80 employees on 8 or 9 different job sites. Please recognize this is important to us. Don't discriminate against my company. This is a simple project. We can perform the work competently as we are currently organized. But please issue the addendum removing this discriminatory mandate.
If I may.
Sure.
In 2019 and 2020, you and Jeff were both in a meeting in our office with the prosecutor, with Pat Genetti and the unions.
Yes.
And this issue with that part of the PLA was discussed, if you can remember that.
Sure.
You were there.
Yes.
At that point, Janus, was a federal law and being challenged for that one section of the PLA was being looked at and addressed. That portion of the PLA is no longer in there. There is an addendum to that. How that didn't get into those bid documents is not something that we have right now. but we are checking that out as we speak. So your questions are wrong. And what upsets me most, and I probably shouldn't do this, but I am, what upsets me most is the union contractors and the unions had the decency to come in and check the stuff out. All
I
you
have
did,
copies.
now, wait a minute. You went on the radio and you beat us up. I mean, why wouldn't you come into our office, ask for a staff meeting and look at what was there? And so collectively, all of us together could work this out. I believe there was only two PLA projects that I'm aware of.
And I think what Mr. Taylor was saying was, and again, great research, how this revised project labor agreement was not in this bid document. And that's what we're trying to find out, how it got in there. I have no idea. We don't sit in on any of those bids. We stay away from that. But that's something that we're going to have looked out based upon the union's research, because that's the meeting that Ms. Rigetti is talking about. I remember bits and pieces of that
Sure.
meeting, but it was a revised version of that based upon the meeting you had with Mr. Ditzler, and then you came to the commissioners to do that. So that is what we want to see for this project based on Mr. Taylor's research, because I would like to see it myself.
Yeah, all I could go off of is the contract that I purchased at the purchasing department. Obviously, that's what's included in the contract,
And
you
Jimmy,
know, and we have objections to it.
right.
And they'll all be corrected.
That's great. And I appreciate his comments. I appreciate your research. You know, we're not aware of how many labor agreements are floating around this county.
Well, I'm just telling you.
More than open to take a look at. You know, we're not trying to be adversarial. We want a fair shake is what we want. We
Everybody
don't want
does.
to have to sign up to become union. We're a non-union company.
Yeah, but if you.
What does that have to do with anything? We're qualified. We are qualified, Ms.
All
Commissioner.
right. No one said that you were not.
You're telling me I have to sign up to be a union.
No, that is not
That's what's
correct.
in my contract.
Well, that is not correct.
We will take a look.
All right, you do that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you don't want the correction.
I'll take a look at anything.
Okay, cool deal.
Okay, next.
Morning. My commissioners,
Morning.
morning, everybody. Jeff Rudzik, Rudzik Excavating, 401 Loneville Road, Struthers. We're all getting to know each other. Been here quite a bit. See a lot of support out here today. Once again, we were not trying to make this a non-union union issue. We were trying to make this good for everybody, good for the taxpayers, even competition. And as you just said, the best thing you just said was there's only been a few projects.
Got to.
And the best thing that has come of this is you've had no issues on those projects. So for you to put a PLA in place on projects makes no sense. You just level the playing field and there's no need for it. So Mr. Collier stood up, did a fine job articulating why a PLA would be used. On a high-rise building, I don't disagree that may be the commissioner's way of, okay, we're gonna control this project, unions are gonna control this project, we're gonna do a good job and work together. Understood completely. On the projects we're talking about, there's simple water line, simple sewer. We are some of the best contractors in the area installing. And we are able to do the work and there's nothing out there saying we can't. So you basically just take half the bidders and you get rid of them. So that takes all your competition. And if I'm on the other side, listen, if I'm on the owner's side, on that side, I'd be raising my prices too. There's no reason not to. When your competition goes away, what happens? It's gone. Anyhow, I have a lot to say, but I know my time to run up. Do the right thing. Issue the addendum. Obviously, the right one wasn't supplied. Get rid of it. If there was only two projects that were ever had it, you're taking a lot of people's time here. Retirees, people should be working. People that should be out on jobs working and being productive today are in here. We're having an argument about nothing.
Exactly.
Take PLAs out, get rid of them, we wouldn't be here. Have a good day, do the right thing, issue the addendum. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Good morning, Commissioners. Justin Rance, representative with the United Brotherhood of Carpenters, right here in Youngstown, located at 8065 Market Street. I just wanted to take a chance to give my opinion on project labor agreements as it has been discussed last week under public comment. There have been few concerns on the use of PLAs, and the only negative opinions I have heard were from a couple contractors here last week and today. County PLAs with the building trades in the state of Ohio are not a new concept. Stark and Lucas County are two examples of other counties currently using them on their projects. So I wanted to give a positive example of a result from using PLAs on county funded projects. This example would be the use of state accredited apprenticeship programs. A project labor agreement with the building trades gives the county direct access to the use of apprenticeship programs and provides employment and educational opportunity to a multicultural, diverse workforce. National building trades unions have over 1,600 training centers in the United States. Most of the building trades have them in the Northeast Ohio, and some are right here in Youngstown. Our local training centers are currently working with 24 high schools in the area by providing them our apprenticeship curriculum and giving students direct access into our programs. A recent study performed by Case Western Reserve University in 2016 highlighted the use of programs like Helmets to Hard Hats, in which veterans get direct entry into our apprenticeships, helping them learn skills needed to be successful in an occupation in construction and help them transition back into civilian life. Since the program's inception in 2003 to 2016, the program has helped place over 20,000 veterans in the workforce. The study also highlighted that the training apprentices receive can be applied toward an associate's or bachelor's degree. So building trades programs are a head start for workers who would like to continue their education further and with no student debt. Because building trades programs are self-funded by the members and their contractors. The Case Western Reserve team who performed the study also found that the employers who use building trades apprenticeships earn a return on investment of between $1.30 and $3 for every $1 invested in craft training due to improved safety, increased worker productivity, reduction of rework, and absenteeism or turnover. So in conclusion, it is my belief that Mahoning County is getting their best return on investment by lifting up their entire community through the use of PLAs that promote apprenticeships and while receiving the most efficient service in the construction industry. So I would like to thank the commissioners for understanding the benefits of project labor agreements and the continued use of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Morning. Tired of beating a dead horse here. Tony Deli, Austintown resident, proud union iron worker for 35 years. Current business manager representing 444 iron workers in the Mahoning Valley. We also cover 3 counties in Western Pennsylvania, Mercer, Lawrence, and Venango. So PLAs. Here's all the project labor agreements, community benefits agreements, stabilizations agreements, bidding agreements that are currently in use in these 6 counties. I'm not going to read them all. Obviously, I don't have enough time. Anybody wants to see them? Here they are. Don't be scared of a PLA. This isn't union, non-union. It's another protection for the county and the taxpayers to get the job and the project done at a decent amount of time at the lowest and best way possible. PLAs provide the county with unique and exceptional, reliable source of skilled, trained manpower in all appropriate trades. No union, no non-union. PLAs promote safe, timely, cost-effective construction delivery to the highest quality standards. That's all we're trying to do. I want to protect my tax money. I want my money going somewhere, and it's going to be a good and great project. All right? So, contractor reports. Again, proof of contract reports. Ran 3 investigation reports. I'm not going to mention any names because we're not here pointing fingers. 1 contractor, 2 civil judgments, 11 UCC liens, 1 civil judgment, 7 OSHA violations, 4 serious, fines totaling almost $12,000. Another contractor, 10 UFC liens, 10 UCC liens, 5 OSHA violations, totaling almost $20,000. with a 24 out of 100 credit rating. Do you want a contractor out there representing our tax dollars that has a credit rating of 24 out of 100? I don't. Another contractor, great, came back great. These are non-union contractors. I got reports on unions too. We ain't the greatest and the best. We're not saying it, but we are the greatest and the best. Another contractor, great report. Only has 12 employees though. Can't handle scope of work that some of the county projects are. So, do we make more? Yeah, we make more. Do we cost more? No, we don't cost more. Independent survey. Productive for union labor, 14% higher. If we're working open shop, union and non-union on a job, 8% better productivity. Use of union labor reduces the total cost of projects by an average of 4%. Union craft labor and foremen have demonstrated significant higher level of skills. Strong relationships exist between higher craft skills and lower project total costs. Projects are 40% less likely to experience a shortage of skilled labor. Unions, projects are, can I have an extension? Projects that are short in skilled labor are twice as likely to have 10% of higher cost overturn. We don't want a cost overturn. When we submit in a bid, we want that bid. We don't want $1 million less and then you hand in $2 million of change orders. That's the project. Turnover of labor projects is 1/3 less likely. Why is this important? Because turnover of labor is linked to the worst project costs and schedule outcomes. Independent survey. So saying that, no, this isn't. Why are we afraid of the project labor agreement? Every county project should be under project labor agreement. There should be no trigger. It should be zero. Every project should be under the PLA. It's protecting us on projects in our county. Here's what I tell our membership when they come in and say, why ain't I working? And I say, your career is your business. Your job isn't guaranteed. You live from job to job in this business, from dispatch to dispatch. You are directly responsible for your value on the job. Your ability to thrive and make money is directly related to the skills, attitudes, and behaviors you bring to the job. These skills determine how many hours you work each week, month, and year. They'll be reflected in how long you stay with the contractor, and they'll determine how much he values your contribution. Your job is your business. Manage it well. There's a reason we have all different skill crafts. We aren't a master, a jack of all trades, a master of none. We are a master of our trade. And when you need a damn operator out there, you hire an operator. When you need an iron worker, you hire an iron worker. Do you want a jack of all trades doing something at your place? You need plumbing done, you hire a plumber. You don't hire an electrician. You want a doorknob changed? Yeah, you get a jack of all trades. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you again and again. You should implement PLAs on all projects and remove the damn trigger. But thank you.
Next.
Good morning. My name is Heidi Smith, 401 Lowville Road, Struthers, Ohio. I also work at Rudzik Excavating. I guess I don't understand the point of a PLA. You guys say that it's better for the county, it's better for the people. What makes it better? Just for us to sign a piece of paper? I don't understand why that makes it better for the people of Mahoning County. I'm the controller at Rudzik Excavating. In the past, I worked for a union contractor. So I've seen the money that not only the employees have to pay in fringes and dues, but also the money that the union companies have to pay, which is a great deal. I would like to talk, however, about the workers, because from what I get, a lot of you say that it's about the workers. It's about getting the right people for the job. Commissioner Disler on the Ron Berg show had stated so many companies can't get workers, and that is why the PLA is in place. Well, at Rudzik Excavating, we take pride in taking care of our employees, which shows in the fact that we have low employee turnover. In each of the last 3 years, our employee turnover has been less than 9%. For perspective, anything less than 10% is really good. And yes, we have approximately 80 employees. Currently, 19 of our employees left at one point, but have since come back to work for us. Some of them have worked for unions. The average amount of time that our employees in the field have been at Rudzik Excavating is 8 years. One has been with us for 21 years and several for 19. Among our employees in the field, the average age is 41.27. So you see, we do not have a problem finding and retaining employees with years of experience. We don't feel that this PLA is necessary, and we respectfully ask that it be removed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Luke? I know you've been waiting.
I have a different topic. Are we sure that?
Yeah, we're good.
Hey, got to break the ice.
Marty.
I'd be more than happy to wait.
Okay, Marty.
Okay, Marty Loney, 493 Bev Road Boardman. I'm the president of Western Reserve Building Trades, representing over 9,500 members. In our community, we don't judge someone's values based on how they use their words for political gain. We judge their values on what they spent their life doing. I ask you to put aside the overly inflamed rhetoric and take a hard look at what project labor agreements and our local building trades unions do for this community every day in terms of providing career training opportunities for local residents who then go on to earn family-sustaining wages that work to keep our local economy healthy and strong. Morals, values, decency are all essential in a civil society. Strong families, a prosperous middle class, and healthy communities are all vital if we are to enjoy the fruits of our success. Today, we seek transformative ideas that can propel our community forward, not backward. Project labor agreements can help us do that, not only by ensuring on-time, on-budget return on the taxpayers' investments, but also facilitating stronger communities and career training opportunities that will equip and prepare many local citizens to pursue their version of the American dream. We must also make the case that the union versus non-union debate is an integral part of the negative, non-productive politics of the past. It's time to leave these petty debates behind and focus on having adult conversations about finding and creating the solutions that will result in a more secure and prosperous future for our members, for our community. We believe that PLAs are a credible part of this solution. Construction is a highly specialized industry that requires the deployment of multiple diverse crafts. Skilled trades training programs operated by local building trades unions provide the best training available in today's construction industry. Recent studies conducted across the country demonstrate that union apprenticeship programs attract and graduate far more apprentices, including more minority and female apprentices, and can be counted on to train for all essential construction trades. These programs include more advanced training for more experienced workers and provide meaningful, lifelong career opportunities. There is no question that without quality job training and education, we may lose the advancements that lead to full employment for Mahoning County. When you look at where jobs and careers will be in the future, the skilled trades, construction trades are at the top of the list. These are the careers that project labor agreements are helping to create. These are the careers we want to encourage and the careers that enable individuals to invest in themselves and their community. We need more partnerships between government, business, and labor in order to generate these career training opportunities. Our community deserves a better approach, and we have one. We need to adopt a mindset that embraces job site efficiencies and budgetary responsibility, while also creating more stable and secure job and career training opportunities that will enhance the prosperity of our community and make Mahoning County a better place to live and work. In the end, project labor agreements provide local communities with a cost-effective model to obtain quality work and job site efficiencies. PLAs also ensure a financial boost to the local tax base, as well as a local pool of skilled and properly trained workers with structured pathways to career trainings. I want to thank the commissioners and all those involved in Mahoning County in this process to implement and continue to use the project labor agreements. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark?
Morning, Chris Anderson, 77 Clifton Drive, Boardman, Ohio. I'll be brief. I have the privilege of serving as the chair of the Mahoning County Democratic Party, but today I'm actually here as a taxpayer and an advocate for workers' rights. On behalf of the residents of Mahoning County, I wanted to give a unified thanks to the commissioners for adhering to PLAs, which for decades have helped ensure that public projects are completed by highly skilled workers who not only earn fair wages, but have the protections all of our workers deserve, and ensure that the taxpayer's dollar is spent effectively and efficiently. Everyone in Mahoning County should thank our friends in labor for standing up for the dignity of work. And I'd like to thank all of the commissioners and especially everyone involved, everyone in their staffs, especially because it sounds like you guys have fulfilled a lot of information requests this week. At all levels of government, regardless of their political party, for looking out for our construction workers and to the taxpayer and looking out for taxpayers who get to enjoy the benefits of this work. I'd like to encourage the continued implementation and utilization of PLAs. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark?
Good morning. Thank you. I have a little different topic this morning. I'd like to talk to us all about Memorial Day. It is still April, but Memorial Day is upcoming. And just as a show of hands, how many military veterans do we have in the room this morning with us? So as a brief history, Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day, and it grew out of the United States Civil War. You know, the war was the North and the South, the Union and the Confederacy, 600,000 American military casualties and approximately 150,000 more civilian casualties died in that war. More military casualties than all of our other military conflicts or wars combined. This nation, American against American. After the war was over, you know, most of the war took place in the South. And I like to take the example of Shiloh, which was a particularly large and contentious battle with lots of casualties. After the war ended, there were wives and mothers and family members who go out to decorate the graves of their war dead out of respect. And what they noticed was there were graves that were unattended to because they were Union soldiers and they had been the enemy. They chose to split their flowers and start decorating those graves as well. So this healing was taking place in our country. As we move forward, still being called Decoration Day, General John A. Logan, commander of the Grand Army of the Republic, found out about these remembrances and put into a general order. I'd like to read a portion of that. He instructed his troops to go out on May 30th of every year. And part of his order said, quote, "We should guard their graves with sacred vigilance. Let pleasant paths invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and fond mourners. Let no neglect, no ravages of time testify to the present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten as a people the cost of a free and undivided republic." Memorial Day, Decoration Day, has a direct connection to the Mahoning Valley. General Logan, who issued that post, his son, John A. Logan Jr., was a soldier of distinction himself. He met a woman named Edith Andrews of a prominent Youngstown steelmaking family, married her, and they lived here. He was killed in 1899 in the Spanish-American War in San Jacinto, Philippines, by a sniper bullet. He is interred in Oak Hill Cemetery, just a short drive from here. Military marker with gold lettering indicating that he is a Medal of Honor recipient. As we spin forward in things, the United States have become prominent in this world because we are based on the individual rights of freedoms. We're becoming larger in the world. We're involved in more conflicts, which means more casualties. So as we go into the 19th and 20th centuries, it's still Decoration Day, but we chose to recognize all of those people who died in all of our wars. And in 1971, by an act of Congress, it became known as Memorial Day and put on the last Monday of May each year. I'm here today to speak about Boardman's Memorial Day, although we have so many recognitions and places around our county that do so. I'm the chairman of our parade and our service, our ceremony that is there. Part of my responsibilities are to seek ODOT permission to block our roads for the parade, which means I need to communicate to all the county and the county departments and everything, et cetera. So it's convenient to be here today to do that. So May 27th will be our Boardman parade and our service.
Keep going.
If I may,
You're fine.
thank you. This will be our 120th, which is pretty amazing. We're very proud of that fact. And we didn't stop those. Even through these recent years of government shutdowns and community shutdowns, we continue to have our service and our ceremony every year. So it will be May 27th in Boardman. Parade is Route 7 to Route 224 to Boardman Park. Our speaker this year and our parade grand marshal is Mr. Dan Rivers. Many of you know him as a local radio talk show host. Dan is a Vietnam veteran, 2 tours in the construction battalions, the CBs, and he'll be a very interesting speaker. He is a defender of all those things related to veterans as well. We look forward to hearing from him. I do have handouts this morning of the ODOT permission slip, which I can give to the commissioners, and if you could distribute to all the departments, we would appreciate that very much. Before I, take any questions or anything, I just want to say that, this is such an example of what a privilege it is to be an American. That we have the freedom of speech, that we can redress grievances of government. All those things that are in our founding documents are right here in this room today. But we don't exist without people who serve in our military to protect our freedoms, many of whom surrendered their lives on the altar of freedom so that we could exist and be here today in this world and still be a leader in this world. We are not a perfect nation, and that's okay. We're the best one around because we were found on the singular rights of individuals in this country. So thank you for your time today, and I'll answer any questions that you might have.
Good. Where's the parade start again?
It starts at Center Middle School on Market Street across from Southern Park Mall,
Great.
northbound on Route 7, turning right onto Route 224 down to Boardman Park. You're welcome politicians, by the way, if you'd like to be in the
2
parade.
years ago. I was there 2 years.
Good.
It's a nice parade.
Well, it's a rigorous process and you have to
Yeah.
get through me, but I'm willing to consider it, so.
I think I know you.
All right, yeah, very good. If I could. handle
Thank
this.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. Okay, well, we thank you all for taking the time for coming. All right, one more. We'll get you in there.
Good morning. My name is Cody Bova with JS Bova Excavating at 235 State Street, Struthers, Ohio. I know we've all come up here and I've had arguments of why this PLA should be removed. And again, this is not a union versus non-union argument because we all have our own place. But today I want to explain with some numbers as to why this is discriminating. Prevailing wage rates are set in place to make a level playing field for everybody. And in your current contract book, that's given to everybody, the labor class 2 base rate is $35.22. The fringe rate is $13.80 for a total of $49.02. And our workers bring that $49.02 home. By having a PLA and signing it, that fringe of $13.80 goes to the union. And as stated on page 11, Article XL, Section 2 of your current book.
That's Audrey.
Can I?
Go ahead, yes.
I know we've gone through that and they've gone through that. We've already talked with the prosecutor's office and sanitary. That PLE that you're reading and you're competing, that has the union benefits in there, those benefits are not in the revised version. So to present
fine.
those numbers and stuff, I know, but I'm saying.
But it's not.
We've already rehashed and that's already been communicated to sanitary. There will be an addendum that will come out with the correct PLA that has section 11 modified substantially that deals with that. There is no requirement for a union dues. There is no required to be a part of a union and there's no requirement to pay union benefits. So I want to make that clear so that we don't hash that
And
again.
they won't have to pay it again. Pack.
Is that correct? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I
Thank you
just
for
don't
your
want to
time.
go down because we've
No,
gone down this
We
road.
already,
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you for your
you.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cody. Sure,
Could I just explain one thing you said?
absolutely.
Prevailing wage is area standards. So it is set by surveys that are put out to contractors and tradesmen to fill out to say that that wage is prevailed in that county. So on his behalf, when prevailing wage is a package of $50 and a non-union company gets that award, then that fringe package does not get paid to the unions, it gets paid in that employee's pocket.
Correct.
That wage prevails that county.
Correct.
So you want to change the prevailing wage and bring down the area standards?
No, we all agree that's
So be
prevailing
it.
wage and it's a good thing for everybody.
Correct.
Absolutely.
I mean, who?
We agree. That
who
levels
did-
the playing field for everyone. We agree 100%. You guys have done a great job.
all right, I'm gonna clear this
It
up.
really is.
These
Carol.
projects that are in discussion have federal dollars. So there will be prevailing wages minus the one
That's level
section.
playing field. That's great.
Yeah.
So I want you to know that, but
Yeah, their
But
wages where they're at.
what we're rehashing are things that will be changed in those packets. You will not be charged again. Whoever bid will not be charged again for
Right.
that packet. So it is going to be corrected and everyone will have the right to come and get the updated package. So what we're here for discussing is result. So,
There's no need for PLAs. Everyone's got a level playing field. I agree. We agree.
all right, that's enough.
Could I?
We're
speak
done.
one? We're done.
We're done with this. And I thank you for wanting to say something. If you want to talk to us after, but we have other meetings to go to. So at this point, we're
We'll
done.
let
this gentleman go. You speak.
Okay,
Go
I'm
ahead.
speaking for union and non-union
Okay.
contractors. There seems to be how do I want to explain this? I'm not a very good speaker, but
You're
for
doing
a
good.
union contract or non-union contract, the price of materials is the same in these projects, right? So now it's a battle of the price over the working man and women's wages. So the only other cost difference, I mean, materials cost them the same, catch basins, manholes, pipes.
Correct.
So are we gonna save money for the county on the back of the working man and women with pay? I think that's the issue here, is it?
Prevailing wage
Yeah.
will kind of even that bill for
Yeah,
both.
so the playing field
That's why you have
is all even. We need the PLAs,
PLA does that.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
We
Thank
save
you.
money on the backs of the working man and women of this county.
We appreciate it.
County-
Thank you.
It's not that.
You know, we all want to be fair up here. We want to hear everybody, I hope everybody got to say what they wanted to say. Nobody's speech was restricted in this hearing. We are here to hear what your concerns are, and we thank all of you for your time coming down here. We get what you're talking about, and we're going to move on forward from that, but we want to thank everyone. But I do need to get into the business meeting because we're going to be cited for holding up department heads. So we thank everyone for coming today, okay?
And we thank you.
Okay.
This is the greatest county in the nation.
Thank you.
We like that.
appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Very selected officials. That's great.
Okay,
Motion.
well, with that being said, Carol, I'll ask for a motion.
Motion to approve the previous minutes of board meeting number 15, Thursday, April 11, 2024, and approval of bills for payment.
So moved, second? You got right? Vince is in here. What are you going to say?
Second.
Second,
He second.
roll call.
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficant?
Yes. Okay, journal entry number 1,
Motion to approve journal entry number 1.
second, roll call?
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Trafficant?
Yes. Moving on, we have agreements, letters A through L. And we'll begin with the clerk of courts. I saw Mr. DeCenzo here,
I am.
or Scott, I'm sorry.
Well, Scott presented the plan to me. I approved it and reviewed it as he presented it. He did such a good job. I'm gonna allow him to present it to you.
You're a nice boss.
All righty.
This is a request for an agreement with Cleveland Brothers Moving for the purpose of transporting approximately 675 case file boxes from 4 of our office locations to Jesse and Microfilm. So I know we had a little ceremony for him last week, and so he's
That's
going
why
to
he
get some
got a
work.
promotion, you know that. All that work you're making him.
Yeah, exactly. So he does a great job. And this is in the amount of $3,150 and general funds.
Thank you. Okay, CBB, Linda? Where's
Good
she at?
morning. Good morning, everyone. Letter B is an agreement with Infinite Synergy for ongoing support, maintenance, updates, hosting, optimization, and promotion of the Convention and Visitor Bureau website, youngstownlive.com. And the amount here should say not to exceed $75,000.
In a website, an amount of 75,000, and it's not federal.
Thank you. Engineers. Rick?
It's an agreement with TC Ready Mix for the purchase of concrete materials and the estimated amount of $30,000. It's not just.
Okay, thank you. JJC?
Morning.
Oh,
This is an agreement with the Reliable Snowplow Specialist. snow plowing services in the amount of $15,000, and that will run through April 30th of 2025. The next one.
Yeah, do them all. Mhm.
And we also have an agreement with W.T. Leon's Tri-Area Electric Company for electrical services and to the gym's heating unit in the amount of $3,240.
Okay, thank you. And we will have lead. Phil Purrier.
Good morning, Commissioners. Letter F is an agreement with Gary Krim, Inc. for chip home repair work at 72 Piccadilly in Camel in the amount of $7,190, non-general. G is an agreement with American Pinnacle Construction as well for lead hazard control and healthy homes work at 3728 Erie in the amount of $15,475.
Krim Inc. home repair work.
Did I miss?
Really in the amount of $7,190. That's non-general. Item G is agreement with American Pinnacle Construction Inc. for lead hazards. Control healthy homework at 3728 Erie in the amount of $15,475, non-general. Item H is agreement with Howland Company for lead hazardous control healthy homes work at 920 Sherwood in the amount of $43,723, non-general. And item I is agreement with Howland Company for chip home repair work at 4817 Brookwood in the amount of $5,185.
Thank you, Audrey, for that. Prosecutors.
Jimmy.
Okay.
Okay, this agreement with Maximus US Service Inc. for the e-budget document, monthly invoices, in the amount of $8,250. And this is a non-general expenditure.
Thank you, sir. And Sheriff Stripers.
Good morning, everyone. K is an agreement with Hall Public Safety Company to outfit 3 Dodge Durango SUVs. Equipment in the amount of $36,145.61, non-general. And L is an amendment with Trinity Service Group Incorporated for food services provided to the inmates for the pricing unit. It's non-general.
Thank you, Joe. Motion?
Motion to approve number 2 agreements A through L.
Second, roll call?
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes. Change orders, 3A, Treasurer, Mr. Yama.
Yes, good morning,
Good morning.
everyone. Morning, Commissioners, staff. Robert Half is a company I use for temporary and seasonal employment services during tax collection. Our current agreement with them is it's in effect. It doesn't expire until the end of the year. What we're doing here is adding money to it so that we can accommodate second half tax collection.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to approve number 3A, change orders.
Second, roll call?
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes. Road closings, 4A. Rick?
Yeah. Western Road, Market Street intersection beginning Monday. 2024. Increasing. Sidewalk. Solid crop over. Part of the Western Reserve.
Thank you.
Okay. Motion to approve number 4, road closings A.
Second, roll call?
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes. Motion, resolution?
Motion to approve resolutions number 1, additions.
Second, roll call?
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes. Moving on, resolution of awards, A and B. Rick?
This is to award the MAH 00183 Early Road Bridge Replacement Project to APOR Company in the amount of $659,000, non-general and only.
Thank you. And grants management, Anna, if you can hear.
Yes, can you hear me, commissioners?
No.
It's
Yeah.
not working.
This is award the Poland Avenue Neighborhood Improvement Project Phase 2 to Fultz Construction, Inc. in the amount of $89,946.75. It's non-general and low bid.
Okay. Carol?
Motion to approve number 2, resolution of awards A and B.
Second, roll call?
Commissioner Remedy Agati?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes. Resolutions A through G, and we have our dog warden with us. Hi, Diane. Good morning.
A is a resolution approving the appointment of one deputy dog warden. That is a replacement for someone who has left. And B is a resolution to purchase two Ford Transit cargo vans from Montrose Ford. This is through state purchasing in the estimated amount of $100,015,930. So that's all for us today.
Okay, thank you. Engineers, Rick.
It's a resolution authorizing the participation in the Ohio Department of Transportation in the purchase of sodium chloride rock salt in the year 24-25 season.
Okay, thank you very much. And Audrey, you better do letter D.
This is a resolution designating the month of April as Fair Housing Month.
Very good. And JJC, I believe we have Ron Chandler. Chambers, where's he at? Stand up. Absolutely.
All right, resolution approving the agreement with Securus Technology Corporation for the building security, electronic upgrade and replacement locks in the amount of $572,625.58.
Colleen Costas is here.
Colleen.
With D.
For D.
And 60% of that is going to be funded by the DYS Department, Teen Youth Services.
Thank you. Sorry, I haven't recognized the face. You don't come too often, so now I'm trying to.
No problem.
Get the middle. Okay. We don't need it. All right. And F and G. Sure.
F is a resolution supporting an application to the United States Department of Justice Ops Office for the fiscal year 2024 Ops Law Enforcement Act in the amount of $100,000 annually for 2 years with no local match. And G is a resolution approving the removal of a hospital bed in our medical ward that's no longer in service, and that's per ORC 307.12B1.
Thank you, Joe. Motion?
Motion to approve number 3, resolutions A through G.
Second roll call?
Commissioner Rea?
Yes.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes. And for the good of the order, any elected officials or department heads would like to comment?
Yes, commissioners, hello? Hello?
I think everyone that came out and took the opportunity to speak today and provide information to the commissioners. I thank the union for your diligence and covering where that misinformation or document was for the county, basically until those bid books are opened up and somebody actually looks and says, oh, that's the wrong one. We didn't know exactly that until that happened. And so I appreciate that you did take that due diligence and come speak with Jimmy, make sure you had the right information and that we move forward in the right way. So we do appreciate that. Departments will be notified to make the correction accordingly. I think the trades who are here, Carlton, it's nice to see you again. It's been a good while since we've seen you. So we appreciate that. I appreciate some of the things. I know what our country was founded on, and I know that was the union's back too. And appreciate some of the things and safeties that we have in labor, in government, and in our trades today is because of what happened years ago. We're here. We don't want to go backwards. We appreciate that we're able to go forward. And I think working together and understanding each other's needs, we're doing that. The law that changed, it came to the union to us, and they let everyone know at that point in time. They drafted that new language, which has all of that in there. That was something that was taken away from them, but they still came in and said, this is the correct language. This is what we had. The county and the commissioners have always worked at making sure our documents are fluent. They change with laws. They change with things and requirements that have that. We change those documents accordingly as that happens. We work with our prosecutor's office and everyone to make sure that our documents are current and are legal. And so understand, and some of the projects, as Jimmy would say, that we work on and that we have that PLA, our courthouse, which is a historical building that requires a lot. The jail, when the roofs were both done, those were a couple of those PLAs that went out for that. We had an issue in one of them and there was a resolution. There's multiple trades. One of the things I didn't hear today and reading down through this PLA document and understanding it myself is a collaboration, having to make sure that everybody signs off on this that says that we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. If this happens, there's a mediation dispute resolution in there. How do you handle that? All of those things are in there when you're dealing with that. One project maybe not needed or the other, but still the commissioners have that. Even with a water line, that's health and safety. Those are things that need to be done. And those are things that have worked good for this county. I think, and someone that says the commissioners are not good stewards of our dollars, look at our finances. We are
Exactly.
good stewards. They are good stewards. They have done a great job for this county. And anybody who says differently does not belong to work for this county.
Here. Thank you. And we have a surplus. So we are
Yes.
good stewards of this
Yes, we
county.
are.
And we have a AA rating on our bond. That's
Double A
because,
minus.
that's because we have a team. Mahoning County is a team. We don't always agree, but we work together to make it work. And that includes all of our administrator, our directors and everyone. So that's all I got.
Okay. Any other department heads or electeds?
Yes, can you hear me? Hello?
We gotta go to
Hello? Hello?
honestly, thank you very much and for keeping it, okay? G plus. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second roll call.
Yes.
Yes. Thank